Picture a life where nothing can hold you back. A life where you are in full control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Picture yourself confidently navigating through challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, not just surviving, but thriving. That kind of life may seem like a distant dream, but it's closer than you think. The secret to achieving it lies not in external circumstances, but in mastering the inner world of your mind and actions. We all have dreams, ambitions, and desires that drive us. Maybe it's building a successful career, starting a business, improving your relationships, or becoming the best version of yourself. Whatever your goal, it can feel overwhelming when faced with the pressures and demands of life. Often, we get stuck in a cycle of trying, failing, and doubting ourselves. But what if there was a way to break free from that cycle and achieve anything you want with a sense of calm, confidence, and clarity? The key to unlocking your true potential doesn't lie in some magical formula or quick fix. Instead, it comes from the timeless wisdom of a philosophy that has been around for centuries: Stoicism. While it may sound ancient, Stoicism offers a blueprint for modern life that can empower you to reach new heights. This philosophy teaches us that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And in that response lies our true power. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to face difficulties without losing their cool? They remain calm under pressure, handle setbacks with grace, and keep moving forward no matter what life throws at them. It's not that these people are immune to hardship. They've simply mastered a mindset that allows them to navigate through challenges without being overwhelmed. They've trained their minds to stay focused on what truly matters, leaving behind the distractions and noise of the world. You too have this ability. You can develop the mental strength, emotional resilience, and unwavering focus needed to achieve anything you desire. But before you can unlock this power, you need to shift your perspective on what success really is and how to attain it. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that equate success with external achievements, fame, wealth, status. We are told that happiness comes from having more, doing more, and being more. But despite these promises, many of us still feel unfulfilled. Why? Because true success is not found in chasing external rewards, but in mastering our inner selves. When you learn to master your mind, you gain control over your life. You stop letting fear, doubt, and anxiety dictate your actions. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your destiny. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest ally. Stoicism teaches that life will never be perfect. Challenges, setbacks, and hardships are inevitable. But instead of fighting against these realities, Stoics embrace them. They understand that growth comes from adversity and that every challenge is an opportunity to build strength, resilience, and wisdom. Consider facing each obstacle in your life with this mindset, not as something to avoid, but as a stepping stone toward your success. At its core, Stoicism is about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This is a simple yet profound shift in thinking. How many times have you wasted energy worrying about things that are out of your hands? How often have you let your emotions spiral out of control because of external events? The Stoic approach teaches us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we have absolute control over how we react. This shift in mindset is the first step toward achieving anything you want. When you stop being controlled by external circumstances and start focusing on your own actions, you take back your power. You become the master of your fate. You gain the mental clarity to see opportunities where others see only problems. You build the emotional strength to keep going when others would give up. But this kind of transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort, discipline, and commitment. The good news is that you don't need to be perfect or have all the answers right away. You simply need to start where you are and take small daily steps toward mastering yourself. Self-discipline is one of the most important qualities you can develop on this journey. It's the ability to stay focused on your goals, even when distractions and temptations are pulling you in different directions. It's the inner strength to push through discomfort, knowing that growth lies on the other side. With self-discipline, you can break free from bad habits, overcome procrastination, and build the momentum needed to achieve your dreams. Emotional mastery is another essential skill. In a world that is constantly throwing challenges our way, it's easy to let emotions like fear, anger, and frustration take over. But Stoicism teaches us that emotions are just temporary states. They do not define who we are. By learning to observe and manage your emotions, you can remain calm and clear-headed in even the most stressful situations. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it's about recognizing them for what they are and choosing how you respond. Living with purpose is the final piece of the puzzle. Stoicism encourages us to define our purpose and pursue it with unwavering focus. Without a clear purpose, it's easy to get lost in the noise of everyday life, chasing after things that don't truly matter. But when you are connected to your purpose, every decision becomes clearer, every action more intentional. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your values, and you start making meaningful progress toward your goals. Picture how different your life would be if you lived each day with this level of focus, discipline, and purpose. Imagine waking up with a sense of clarity about what needs to be done and the confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way. Picture yourself achieving goals that once seemed out of reach, not because you were lucky or had special talents, but because you mastered your mind and actions. This isn't just a dream, it's a reality you can create. By embracing the lessons of Stoicism, you can unlock the potential within you and achieve anything you set your mind to. You have the power to transform your life, one thought, one action, one day at a time. Now, are you ready to take that first step toward becoming unstoppable? Can you think for a moment what it would be like to silence the endless noise around you, the distractions, the worries, the constant barrage of thoughts that cloud your mind? Now, picture focusing all that energy and mental clarity on the things that truly matter in your life. How much more could you accomplish? How much more peace and satisfaction could you find? This is the essence of the power of focus, and it's one of the core teachings of Stoicism. In a world full of distractions, Stoicism offers a path to help you concentrate on what is important and let go of everything that isn't. When we think about focus, it's easy to assume that it's simply about cutting out distractions or working harder. But Stoicism teaches us that focus goes much deeper than that. It's about aligning your mind and actions with a higher purpose, directing your energy toward things that will truly make a difference in your life. In order to harness the power of focus, we first need to understand what it means to focus on what we can control. In life, there are two kinds of things, those we can control and those we cannot. This concept is central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics teach that we should not waste time or energy on things outside of our control. Instead, we should focus entirely on the things within our power, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. This mindset shift is the first step toward mastering focus. For example, think about the last time you were stressed out over something. Maybe it was a situation at work, a relationship issue, or even a global event. Now ask yourself, how much of that situation was actually within your control? In most cases, you'll find that a large portion of what caused your stress was beyond your control. By shifting your focus away from these external factors and toward the things you can influence, you regain your power and free your mind from unnecessary worry. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about this idea. He reminded himself that external events are indifferent. They are neither good nor bad. What matters is how we respond to them. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he wrote in his meditations. This insight teaches us that the key to staying focused is not controlling the uncontrollable, but mastering our inner world. Letting go of what we cannot control is liberating. It creates mental space and clarity, allowing us to direct our focus toward the things that matter most. Imagine that your mind is like a garden. If you spend all your time worrying about the weather, something beyond your control, you'll neglect the plants that need your care and attention. But if you focus on watering, pruning, and nurturing what is within your reach, your garden will thrive. Once you begin to cultivate this mindset of focusing on what is within your control, the next step is to remove distractions from your life. We live in a world full of distractions: social media, constant notifications, endless entertainment, and the pressure to multitask. These distractions pull our attention in 1,000 different directions, leaving us scattered and unfocused. The Stoics believed that many of the things we consider important are, in fact, trivial distractions. They taught the practice of temperance, which involves moderation and self-control. By exercising temperance, you can begin to strip away the unnecessary activities and habits that drain your time and energy. When you focus only on what is essential, you create room for deeper concentration and productivity. For instance, consider how much time you spend each day on things that don't truly matter. Scrolling through social media, watching mindless TV shows, or constantly checking your phone for updates may seem harmless, but these activities chip away at your ability to focus on the things that really matter. By reducing or eliminating these distractions, you can direct your energy toward your goals and priorities. However, removing distractions is only part of the equation. The real power of focus comes when you align your actions with your purpose. In Stoicism, living with purpose is a central theme. The Stoics believed that every person has a unique role to play in life, and by discovering and pursuing your purpose, you can achieve a sense of fulfillment and clarity. Once you understand your purpose, it becomes easier to focus your efforts on what truly matters. Picture that your life is like a ship sailing toward a distant shore. If you don't know where you're going, you'll drift aimlessly, tossed about by the waves of distraction and indecision. But when you have a clear destination in mind, every action you take moves you closer to that goal. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our purpose, to steer our ship toward the shore that matters most to us. To stay on course, it's important to regularly reflect on your values and priorities. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? What do I want to achieve in this life? What actions will bring me closer to that goal? By answering these questions, you can create a roadmap for your life, guiding your focus and preventing you from being pulled off track by trivial distractions. Once you have a clear sense of purpose, the next step is to take consistent action toward your goals. The Stoics placed a high value on discipline and consistency. They believed that success is not achieved overnight, but through small, deliberate actions taken over time. This kind of focus requires patience and persistence. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. Think of focus like building a muscle. Just as you wouldn't expect to develop physical strength by going to the gym once, you can't expect to master focus in a single day. It takes practice, repetition, and commitment. The Stoics understood that true mastery of focus comes from consistent effort, day after day. One of the challenges of maintaining focus is that life will inevitably throw obstacles in your path. Whether it's an unexpected setback, a difficult challenge, or a moment of doubt, these obstacles can make it hard to stay on course. But the Stoics believed that adversity is not something to be feared. Rather, it is an opportunity to grow stronger. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-Stoic philosopher, taught that we should not be disturbed by external events, but instead focus on how we respond to them. "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," he said. This is where the power of focus truly shines. When you encounter obstacles, the ability to stay focused on your purpose allows you to move through challenges with resilience and determination. Consider the example of a marathon runner. As they approach the finish line, their body is tired, their muscles ache, and their mind is screaming for them to stop. But they keep their focus on the goal, pushing through the pain and discomfort. The same principle applies to achieving your goals in life. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, but if you stay focused on what truly matters, you can persevere. This idea of focus extends beyond just staying the course in difficult times. It also involves learning to be present in the moment. The Stoics encouraged mindfulness, the practice of being fully aware and engaged in whatever you are doing at the present moment. When you are present, you can give your full attention to the task at hand, whether it's a work project, a conversation with a loved one, or even something as simple as cooking a meal. Being present allows you to experience life more fully and make the most of every moment. It's easy to get caught up in thinking about the future or dwelling on the past, but the Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have is the present. By focusing on the here and now, you can bring more clarity, peace, and effectiveness into your life. Another aspect of Stoic focus is the practice of setting clear boundaries. In order to stay focused on what matters, you may need to say no to things that don't align with your goals. This could mean setting limits with people who drain your energy or avoiding activities that distract you from your purpose. The Stoics believed that it's important to protect your time and energy because these are your most valuable resources. I want you to imagine that your time is like a bank account. Every day you are given a limited amount of time, and once it's spent, you can't get it back. By being mindful of how you spend your time, you can ensure that you are investing it in the things that truly matter. This may mean cutting out unnecessary activities or prioritizing your most important tasks. The final element of Stoic focus is perseverance. Focus is not just about concentrating for short bursts of time, it's about staying the course over the long haul. The Stoics believed that true focus requires a combination of patience, resilience, and determination. It's about continuing to move forward, even when progress is slow or difficult. This is where the Stoic concept of amor fati comes into play. Amor fati, which means love of fate, is the idea that we should embrace everything that happens in life, good or bad, as an opportunity for growth. When you adopt this mindset, you stop resisting life's challenges and start seeing them as part of the journey. You stay focused on your goals, no matter what obstacles arise, knowing that each challenge is a stepping stone to your success. By embracing amor fati, you cultivate the mental strength to persevere through adversity and maintain your focus on what truly matters. You become unshakable, able to weather any storm and stay on course toward your purpose. The power of focus is one of the most valuable lessons we can learn from Stoicism. It teaches us to let go of distractions, prioritize what matters, and stay committed to our purpose. Through focus, we gain the clarity, discipline, and resilience needed to achieve anything we set our minds to. The Stoics remind us that success is not just about reaching our goals, but about how we approach the journey. When we focus on what truly matters, we unlock the power to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and greatness. Just as the power of focus gives you clarity and direction, the next crucial piece of the puzzle is resilience. Life, as we know, is full of challenges, setbacks, and moments when things don't go according to plan. But what if instead of feeling defeated, you could see these challenges as opportunities for growth? What if each setback only made you stronger and more determined? This is where resilience comes into play, and the Stoics were masters at building it. Resilience is not just about bouncing back, it's about thriving in the face of adversity, becoming even more capable and focused after each trial. At the heart of Stoic resilience is the understanding that hardship is inevitable. The Stoics never sugar-coated life. They believed that difficulties are a natural part of the human experience. But instead of fearing these challenges, they taught us to embrace them. The key is in our perception. Challenges don't have to be roadblocks. They can be stepping stones. In fact, Stoicism teaches that the very things we often see as obstacles are the things that help us grow the most. This mindset shift is where true resilience begins. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born into slavery, is an incredible example of resilience. He faced severe adversity from an early age, yet his teachings revolve around the idea that it's not our circumstances that define us, but how we respond to them. He taught that we should not focus on the hardship itself, but on what we can control in the face of that hardship, our thoughts, actions, and mindset. This is the core of building resilience, recognizing that while we may not be able to control the challenges we face, we have full control over how we handle them. Picture yourself climbing a steep mountain, and every time you reach a difficult point, it seems like the path gets steeper. Many would give up, seeing the incline as too tough to conquer. But the Stoics would advise you to see that steep incline as part of your training. Each difficult step is strengthening your legs, your lungs, and your resolve. In life, every setback is like that steep path. It tests us, but it also gives us the chance to build resilience. With each challenge, we grow stronger, more capable, and more prepared for whatever comes next. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacles we face are not merely things to overcome, they are the very path that leads us forward. This is one of the most profound teachings of Stoicism when it comes to resilience. Instead of seeing adversity as something to avoid, we should see it as an essential part of our journey. When you adopt this mindset, setbacks no longer feel like failures. They become part of your progress. The Stoics also believed in preparing for adversity before it strikes. They didn't wait for hardship to happen and then react to it. Instead, they practiced something called premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This practice involves mentally preparing for the worst-case scenario, not to become pessimistic, but to be ready for whatever might happen. When you've already considered the possibility of loss, failure, or hardship, you're less likely to be blindsided by it when it occurs. This mental preparation strengthens your resilience because nothing catches you off guard. You're ready to face whatever comes your way with calmness and composure. Consider how different your life would be if you embraced challenges instead of resisting them. Consider viewing every failure, every rejection, and every setback as fuel for your growth. When you begin to see difficulties as opportunities, your whole perspective shifts. You no longer fear failure because you understand that failure is just a part of the process. This is what it means to build resilience through Stoicism. It's about training your mind to expect challenges, embrace them, and use them to your advantage. Resilience also involves learning to detach from outcomes. One of the biggest sources of stress in life is our attachment to how we think things should turn out. We set goals, and when we don't achieve them in the way we expected, we feel discouraged. But the Stoics remind us that the outcome is not what matters most. What truly matters is the effort you put in, the lessons you learn, and how you grow through the process. When you're no longer fixated on specific outcomes, setbacks don't feel as devastating. You learn to accept whatever happens with grace, knowing that each experience, whether success or failure, is valuable. Let's take an example from everyday life. Think about a time when you worked hard on a project, whether it was at school, work, or in your personal life, and the result wasn't what you hoped for. Maybe you felt like your effort was wasted because the outcome didn't match your expectations. But imagine if, instead of focusing on the disappointment, you focused on what you learned during the process. What skills did you develop? What challenges did you overcome? How did this experience make you more resilient? By shifting your focus, you transform setbacks into stepping stones toward greater success. Stoicism teaches us that resilience is not a trait we're born with, it's something we can develop. One way to do this is by practicing what the Stoics called voluntary discomfort. This involves intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to build mental toughness. For example, fasting, exposing yourself to cold weather, or engaging in difficult physical challenges are ways to train your mind and body to become more resilient. When you willingly face discomfort, you prepare yourself for the inevitable hardships of life. By practicing discomfort, you become less afraid of adversity because you've trained yourself to handle it. Think about athletes who push their bodies to the limit in training. They willingly put themselves through pain and discomfort because they know that's what will make them stronger. The same principle applies to building resilience. By facing discomfort head-on, you develop the mental toughness needed to overcome life's challenges. When real adversity strikes, you're ready for it because you've already trained yourself to handle discomfort. Another key aspect of Stoic resilience is the ability to control your emotions in the face of hardship. The Stoics taught that while emotions are a natural part of life, we shouldn't let them control us. Instead, we should observe our emotions and choose how to respond to them. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing that you have the power to decide how much influence those emotions have over your actions. When faced with adversity, it's easy to let frustration, anger, or sadness take over. But the Stoics believed that by staying calm and composed, you maintain control over the situation. Suppose you're facing a major setback at work. Perhaps you didn't get the promotion you were expecting, or a big project fell through. Your initial reaction might be disappointment, frustration, or even anger. These emotions are natural, but if you let them take over, they can cloud your judgment and lead to rash decisions. The Stoic approach would be to acknowledge these emotions but not be controlled by them. Instead, you would focus on what you can do next. How can you use this experience to improve? What steps can you take to move forward? By staying calm and focused, you're able to navigate the setback with resilience. The Stoics also believed that resilience comes from community and connection. While Stoicism emphasizes individual responsibility and control, the Stoics understood that we don't face challenges alone. They valued friendship, mentorship, and support from others as essential to building resilience. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, offer guidance, and share in your challenges can help you stay strong when times are tough. Consider the people in your life who support you. These are the people who encourage you to keep going when you feel like giving up, who offer perspective when you're overwhelmed, and who remind you of your strengths when you're doubting yourself. Building resilience doesn't mean you have to go through everything alone. It means knowing when to lean on others for support and when to offer support in return. This creates a cycle of resilience that strengthens both you and your community. Finally, Stoic resilience is about embracing the impermanence of life. The Stoics taught that everything in life is temporary. Our successes, our failures, our struggles, and our joys. By accepting this impermanence, we can let go of the need to control every outcome and learn to flow with the natural course of life. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you become more resilient because you stop clinging to the past or fearing the future. You learn to live in the present moment, facing each challenge as it comes, knowing that it too will pass. Building resilience through Stoicism is a lifelong practice. It's about learning to see adversity as an opportunity for growth, detaching from outcomes, practicing discomfort, controlling your emotions, seeking support, and embracing the impermanence of life. Each of these principles strengthens your ability to navigate life's challenges with grace, determination, and an unwavering focus on what truly matters. When you cultivate resilience, you not only overcome setbacks, you thrive because of them. This ability to thrive, even in the midst of difficulty, is what sets Stoicism apart as a powerful philosophy for life. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about growing stronger, wiser, and more capable each time we face hardship. This approach to life means that challenges no longer intimidate you. They become opportunities to test your limits, to discover your inner strength, and to evolve. Imagine facing every challenge with the mindset that you are not merely going to get through it, but that you will come out the other side as a better, stronger person. This is what resilience truly means. It's not about pretending everything is fine or denying that difficulties exist. Instead, it's about acknowledging the struggle while simultaneously understanding that you are growing because of it. Every failure is a lesson, every obstacle is a teacher, and every setback is a setup for a comeback. A key part of this growth involves rethinking how you define success. If your definition of success is solely based on achieving a particular outcome, setbacks will feel like failures. But when success is measured by your ability to persist, adapt, and grow, every challenge becomes an opportunity to succeed. This shift in mindset, taught by the Stoics, is at the heart of resilience. It's about realizing that success isn't about never facing difficulties, but about how you rise each time you do. In modern life, where we are constantly bombarded by pressure, distractions, and uncertainty, Stoic resilience is more important than ever. Our ability to navigate the complexities of life without being overwhelmed by them is what will set us apart. When you develop resilience, you stop being at the mercy of circumstances. You become the steady, unshakable force in your own life, able to handle whatever comes your way with grace, determination, and clarity. This kind of resilience isn't built overnight, and it doesn't come without effort. It requires a commitment to growth, a willingness to face discomfort, and a mindset that sees adversity not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. By integrating Stoic principles into your daily life, focusing on what you can control, preparing for challenges, practicing emotional discipline, seeking support, and embracing impermanence, you build the foundation for lasting resilience. Through this practice, you become someone who doesn't just survive adversity, but thrives because of it. You become someone who sees setbacks as opportunities, who grows stronger in the face of hardship, and who remains focused on what truly matters, no matter the circumstances. This is the power of Stoic resilience, a power that can carry you through any challenge and help you achieve anything you set your mind to. Building resilience is essential to overcoming life's inevitable challenges, but it's not just about bouncing back, it's about embracing discomfort head-on. The Stoics understood that true growth comes not from avoiding adversity, but from stepping directly into it. In fact, they believed that discomfort is a necessary part of achieving greatness. Picture for a moment. What if every challenge, every difficult moment, was not something to shy away from, but something to actively seek out? What if discomfort was the key to unlocking your fullest potential? Stoicism teaches us that adversity is not something to fear, but to embrace. It's a path to self-improvement. The more we push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, the more we learn about our own strength, determination, and resilience. Growth comes when we are stretched beyond our limits. If you think about it, the times when you've grown the most were likely not when things were easy, but when you were tested, when life was hard, and when you had to dig deep to overcome an obstacle. When Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action," he wasn't just talking about the obvious obstacles in our way. He was referring to the internal discomfort that we often avoid. He recognized that what makes us uncomfortable is often what forces us to become stronger, more capable versions of ourselves. It's in moments of struggle that we find out who we really are and what we are capable of achieving. The discomfort we feel is not a sign to stop, but a signal that we are on the edge of something important. The Stoics believed that adversity helps to reveal our true character. When everything is going well, it's easy to appear calm, patient, and strong. But when the storm hits, that's when our real character is put to the test. This is why the Stoics saw value in adversity. It strips away pretense and forces us to confront our raw, unpolished selves. In that discomfort, we are given the opportunity to grow, to become more disciplined, more focused, and more resilient. Stoicism teaches that discomfort is the foundation of discipline. Discipline isn't just about sticking to a routine or following a plan. It's about the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of a greater goal. When you force yourself to wake up early, work hard, or push through fatigue, you're not just building better habits. You're training your mind to be comfortable with discomfort. Over time, the things that once seemed difficult become easier because you've expanded your capacity to handle hardship. This idea of voluntary discomfort is central to Stoic practice. By willingly putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, we strengthen our ability to handle the inevitable difficulties of life. For the Stoics, it wasn't enough to simply wait for adversity to find you. They encouraged actively seeking out discomfort as a form of training. This could be as simple as fasting for a day, sleeping on a hard surface, or challenging yourself with physical exertion. These acts of voluntary discomfort prepare you for larger challenges, giving you the mental and physical toughness to endure when life becomes truly difficult. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, came from a life of extreme hardship, having been born into slavery. Despite his circumstances, he found strength in embracing his discomfort and challenges. He taught that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over how we respond to them. By embracing discomfort, we reclaim our power over adversity. It no longer controls us. We control how we face it. This is a profound shift in mindset that gives us the ability to handle life's greatest challenges without feeling overwhelmed or defeated. One of the reasons we often avoid discomfort is because we associate it with failure. When something is hard or uncomfortable, it can make us feel like we're not capable or that we're doing something wrong. But Stoicism flips this perspective. Instead of seeing discomfort as a sign of failure, the Stoics saw it as a sign of growth. They believed that if you're not experiencing discomfort, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not truly growing. Discomfort becomes a marker of progress, a sign that you're moving forward in your journey. Think about the way muscles grow. When you lift weights, you are literally tearing the muscle fibers apart. This causes discomfort and sometimes even pain, but it's this process of tearing and rebuilding that leads to stronger, larger muscles. The same principle applies to your mind and character. When you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, when you expose yourself to challenges, you are strengthening your mental and emotional muscles. This brings us to the idea of anti-fragility. While resilience is about bouncing back from challenges, anti-fragility is about becoming stronger because of them. The Stoics embraced this idea long before it had a name. They knew that by embracing discomfort, by willingly stepping into adversity, they could grow stronger with every challenge they faced. In this way, discomfort doesn't just help us survive, it helps us thrive. Another important aspect of embracing discomfort is learning to let go of control. One of the great sources of discomfort in life comes from our desire to control things that are ultimately beyond our reach. We want everything to go according to plan. We want to avoid pain, failure, or disappointment. But life is unpredictable, and the more we try to control it, the more anxious and frustrated we become. The Stoics teach us to release this need for control, to accept that discomfort and uncertainty are natural parts of life. When you stop fighting against discomfort, you find peace in the midst of it. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive in the face of difficulty. It means recognizing the limits of your control and focusing your energy on what you can influence. By letting go of the things you cannot change, you reduce unnecessary stress and anxiety. You stop trying to manipulate every situation to fit your expectations and instead embrace the uncertainty of life with grace and acceptance. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of embracing discomfort in our relationships. We all know that relationships can be a source of joy, but they can also be a source of great discomfort. Misunderstandings, conflicts, and emotional pain are all part of the human experience. But instead of avoiding these uncomfortable moments, the Stoics believed that we should lean into them. They saw discomfort in relationships as an opportunity to grow, to develop patience, compassion, and forgiveness. It's in these moments of discomfort that we learn the most about ourselves and the people around us. Think about the times when you've had to have a difficult conversation with someone you care about. It's uncomfortable, perhaps even painful, but it's through these conversations that trust is built, understanding is deepened, and relationships are strengthened. By avoiding discomfort in relationships, we miss out on the opportunity to build stronger, more meaningful connections. The Stoics knew that facing these uncomfortable moments head-on leads to growth not only for ourselves, but also for the relationships we hold dear. The Stoics also believed that embracing discomfort helps us build gratitude. When you expose yourself to discomfort, when you willingly step into adversity, you gain a greater appreciation for the moments of ease and comfort in your life. This practice helps you cultivate a mindset of gratitude because you no longer take the simple things for granted. When you voluntarily fast or go without certain luxuries, you develop a deeper appreciation for the food you eat or the comforts you enjoy. In this way, discomfort becomes a tool for building a life of deeper fulfillment and gratitude. At its core, Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not the enemy. Complacency is. When we avoid discomfort, we stay stagnant. We don't grow, we don't evolve, and we don't push ourselves to become better. Embracing discomfort, on the other hand, challenges us to rise above our limitations. It forces us to confront our fears, to push beyond what we thought we were capable of, and to grow into stronger, wiser individuals. Every time we step into discomfort, we get closer to becoming the person we are meant to be. In the modern world, we are often conditioned to seek comfort and avoid discomfort at all costs. We live in a time where convenience is king, where discomfort is seen as something to be eliminated rather than embraced. But the Stoics remind us that comfort does not lead to greatness. It's only through discomfort that we can truly grow. This is why the Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. They knew that the road to self-mastery is not a comfortable one. Embracing discomfort also helps us develop humility. When we are willing to face challenges, when we are open to failure and adversity, we begin to see ourselves more clearly. We recognize our limitations, our vulnerabilities, and our weaknesses. But instead of being discouraged by these realizations, the Stoics taught us to embrace them as part of the journey. By acknowledging our imperfections, we give ourselves the opportunity to improve. Discomfort humbles us, but it also empowers us to strive for more. One of the greatest lessons of Stoicism is that discomfort is temporary, but the growth it brings is lasting. When you face a difficult situation, it may feel overwhelming in the moment, but the discomfort will pass, and what remains is the strength, wisdom, and resilience you've gained from the experience. This perspective allows us to endure even the toughest challenges with the knowledge that they are shaping us into stronger individuals. In Stoicism, the willingness to embrace discomfort is not just a personal philosophy, it's a way of living that permeates every aspect of life. From physical challenges to emotional hardships, from personal growth to relationships, the Stoics knew that discomfort was the gateway to transformation. They understood that by embracing adversity, by stepping into the discomfort, we find the path to our greatest potential. The Stoic philosophy invites us to reframe how we view discomfort. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided, we are encouraged to see it as an essential part of our development. Discomfort is not a punishment or a sign of failure. It's a necessary ingredient for growth. Whether it's physical, mental, or emotional discomfort, every challenge we face is an opportunity to become a better version of ourselves. The key is to embrace it, to welcome it as a teacher, and to trust that through discomfort, we are being shaped into the person we are meant to be. Stoicism teaches us that discomfort is not something to fear, but to embrace. It is in discomfort that we find our greatest growth. It is through adversity that we discover our true strength. By willingly stepping into discomfort, by facing our fears and pushing ourselves beyond our limits, we unlock the power to become resilient, disciplined, and wise. The Stoics remind us that greatness is not achieved in moments of ease, but in moments of challenge. Through discomfort, we become more than we ever thought possible. As we embrace discomfort and recognize its role in shaping our growth, there's another key element that binds this transformation together: self-discipline. The Stoics understood that while adversity is essential for growth, it's self-discipline that helps us navigate through those challenges consistently. What if you could train yourself to stay on course, no matter the obstacles, distractions, or moments of weakness? What if the key to achieving your goals wasn't luck or talent, but the ability to remain disciplined even when motivation fades? This is where the power of Stoic consistency shines, and it's at the heart of achieving anything meaningful in life. Self-discipline is more than just willpower. It's the ability to make decisions based on your long-term goals, rather than being swayed by short-term desires or fleeting emotions. The Stoics believed that a disciplined mind is a free mind. When you are disciplined, you are no longer at the mercy of every impulse, craving, or distraction. Instead, you are in control of your actions, steering them toward a higher purpose. This control is the foundation upon which all success is built. Consider for a moment how often our lives are dictated by short-term desires. We know we should wake up early to exercise, but the warmth of the bed pulls us back. We set a goal to finish a project, but distractions from social media or television creep in. These small moments, repeated day after day, shape our lives more than we realize. The Stoics knew that without self-discipline, even the greatest intentions would crumble. Consistency is key, and that consistency is only possible when you are disciplined enough to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote often about the struggle between our higher and lower selves. He recognized that it's easy to give in to comfort, to choose the path of least resistance. But he also knew that greatness comes from pushing through those moments of weakness. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?" Marcus understood that self-discipline is not about denying yourself pleasure, but about aligning your actions with your higher purpose. Stoic self-discipline begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize the moments when you're tempted to stray from your path. These moments, though small, are the true tests of discipline. It's easy to stay disciplined when you're motivated, but what happens when that motivation fades? What happens when life throws unexpected challenges your way and it feels easier to abandon your goals? This is where true self-discipline steps in. It's about choosing the long-term rewards over the short-term pleasures. One of the ways the Stoics cultivated discipline was through the practice of habit. They knew that consistency wasn't something you could summon on demand. It had to be built through daily habits. By creating routines that aligned with their values, they reduced the need to constantly battle with themselves over what to do next. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires the same mental energy to maintain. It becomes automatic. This is why building positive habits is crucial to achieving your goals. I want you to envision the power of waking up each day with a clear plan, knowing exactly what needs to be done, and following through without hesitation. When you have built habits around your goals, the path becomes smoother. You don't waste energy deciding whether to work out, study, or work on your personal projects because you've ingrained those actions into your daily life. Discipline becomes less about forcing yourself to do something and more about simply following the course you've set. However, the Stoics also understood that discipline requires more than just setting up habits. It demands a deep connection to your purpose. If you don't know why you're doing something, it's difficult to stay disciplined in the face of adversity. This is why they emphasize the importance of regularly reflecting on your goals and values. When you are clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve it. Discipline is not about punishment or deprivation. It's about making choices that align with the life you want to live. Another crucial aspect of Stoic discipline is the practice of delaying gratification. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with instant gratification. Whether it's food, entertainment, or social validation, everything we want is available at the touch of a button. But the Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes not from indulging in every desire, but from mastering those desires. They understood that the things worth achieving take time and effort. By practicing self-restraint and delaying gratification, you train your mind to focus on long-term rewards rather than short-term pleasures. Think about the last time you were tempted to take a shortcut or indulge in something that provided immediate satisfaction but derailed your progress toward a larger goal. Perhaps it was choosing to binge-watch a series instead of working on a project, or splurging on an unnecessary purchase instead of saving for something important. These moments are when self-discipline is most valuable. When you delay gratification, you strengthen your ability to stay focused on what truly matters. Over time, this builds a deep sense of fulfillment because you are living in alignment with your goals, not being pulled off course by fleeting desires. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, taught that discipline is the key to freedom. At first glance, this may seem counterintuitive. How can discipline, something that seems to impose limits, lead to freedom? But the Stoics knew that when you are disciplined, you free yourself from the chaos of indecision, distraction, and regret. When you practice self-discipline, you are no longer a slave to your impulses or external pressures. Instead, you are the master of your own life, making conscious choices that move you toward your goals. Stoic discipline also involves recognizing the limits of control. The Stoics were clear that we cannot control everything that happens in life, but we can control how we respond to it. This is a critical component of self-discipline. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't go as planned. We face setbacks, failures, and unexpected obstacles. In these moments, it's easy to feel discouraged and to abandon the path. But Stoic discipline teaches us to keep going, to stay committed to our goals, even when the external world doesn't cooperate. This resilience in the face of adversity is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. When you are disciplined, you don't let setbacks define you. You acknowledge them, learn from them, and continue moving forward. This is why the Stoics placed such importance on consistency. Success isn't about never failing. It's about how you respond to failure. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and staying focused on your purpose, even when the results aren't immediate. Another key aspect of Stoic discipline is accountability. The Stoics believed that we must hold ourselves accountable for our actions, not just to others, but to ourselves. This means being honest about where we are falling short and taking responsibility for our behavior. When we fail to stay disciplined, it's easy to make excuses or blame external circumstances. But true self-discipline requires self-reflection. It involves asking ourselves tough questions. Am I really giving my best effort? Am I staying true to my goals? Where can I improve? Accountability doesn't mean being harsh or judgmental with yourself. The Stoics were also advocates of self-compassion. They understood that discipline is a practice, not perfection. There will be days when we stumble, when we fall short of our expectations. But instead of beating ourselves up, we must gently guide ourselves back on track. Self-discipline is about staying committed to the process, even when it's difficult, and forgiving ourselves when we make mistakes. The key is not to give up, but to keep moving forward, learning from each misstep and becoming stronger as a result. The Stoics also taught that self-discipline requires a certain level of detachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or unfeeling. It means recognizing that discipline isn't about immediate results. It's about the long-term journey. Often we get discouraged because we don't see the fruits of our labor right away. But the Stoics remind us that real progress takes time. The disciplined person isn't focused on the short-term payoff, but on the larger picture. They understand that the small, consistent actions they take every day will eventually lead to success, even if it doesn't happen as quickly as they'd like. A sculptor chisels away at a block of marble. Each strike of the hammer may seem small, insignificant even, but over time, those strikes add up. Slowly, the block begins to take shape, and what was once a rough piece of stone becomes a work of art. This is the essence of self-discipline. Each small, disciplined action you take, whether it's showing up to the gym, working on a project, or practicing a skill, builds upon the last. It may not seem like much in the moment, but over time, these actions compound, and the results become undeniable. In the modern world, self-discipline can often feel like a struggle. With endless distractions and temptations at our fingertips, staying focused on long-term goals can seem like an uphill battle. But this is why Stoic discipline is more important than ever. It gives us the tools to cut through the noise, to stay grounded in what truly matters, and to maintain a steady course, no matter what life throws our way. Discipline isn't about making life harder. It's about making life better. It's about creating the structure and habits that allow you to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and achievement. Self-discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, even the best-laid plans will falter. But with it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. The Stoics remind us that discipline is not a burden, but a gift. It's the key to unlocking our potential and living a life that aligns with our highest values. When you embrace self-discipline, you gain the freedom to create the life you've always wanted. You are no longer controlled by fleeting desires or external pressures. Instead, you are guided by your purpose, moving steadily and consistently toward your goals. Through the lens of Stoicism, discipline becomes a way of life. It's not about rigid control or denying yourself pleasure. It's about making conscious choices that reflect who you want to be. It's about building habits that support your growth, staying accountable to yourself, and finding the strength to keep going, even when the path is difficult. When you practice self-discipline, you become the architect of your own destiny. You take control of your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your future. In this way, Stoic discipline is the key to achieving anything you set your mind to. As we've explored the power of self-discipline, we now turn to an even deeper challenge: mastering our emotions. Picture yourself in a moment of high stress, maybe during an argument, a critical work deadline, or an unexpected crisis. In these moments, emotions can feel overwhelming, threatening to pull you off course, cloud your judgment, or make you act in ways you later regret. But what if, instead of being swept away by anger, fear, or frustration, you could remain calm and clear-headed no matter the situation? What if mastering your emotions became the key to unlocking true freedom? The Stoics believed this was not only possible, but essential for living a fulfilled life. In Stoic philosophy, mastering emotions is not about suppressing or ignoring them. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and they arise for good reasons. However, the Stoics taught that while emotions are inevitable, our reactions to them are within our control. It is not the emotions themselves that cause problems, but our attachment to them and the power we allow them to have over our actions. By learning to master our emotions, we can navigate life's challenges with calmness, clarity, and purpose. The first step in mastering emotions is to recognize that emotions, like thoughts, are temporary. In the heat of the moment, a wave of anger, anxiety, or sadness can feel all-consuming. But the Stoics remind us that these feelings, no matter how intense, will pass. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The mind is dyed by the color of its thoughts." This means that we have the power to influence our emotional state by becoming aware of our thoughts. Emotions are often a result of the stories we tell ourselves about a situation. By changing the narrative, we can change how we feel. A car suddenly swerves in front of you, cutting you off in traffic, your heart racing as frustration surges through you. In that split second, anger flares up, and your first instinct might be to react aggressively. But what if, instead of immediately acting on that anger, you paused and questioned the narrative? Perhaps the person made a mistake, or maybe they are rushing to an emergency. By reframing the situation, you can dissolve the initial anger and regain control over your emotional state. The Stoics understood that we often feel emotions based on assumptions, and by challenging those assumptions, we can change how we experience the world. Stoicism encourages us to step back and observe our emotions from a distance, much like a scientist observing a phenomenon. Instead of identifying with your emotions, saying, "I am angry," the Stoics suggest you acknowledge, "I am feeling anger." This small shift in language creates a psychological distance that allows you to assess the situation more objectively. You are no longer consumed by the emotion, but are simply observing it. This practice of detachment gives you the space to choose your response, rather than being driven by the emotional surge. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, taught that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This teaching is a cornerstone of emotional mastery. When something upsetting happens, It's not the event that causes our emotional reaction, it's how we interpret it. By changing the way we interpret events, we change the way we feel. If we see a challenge as a threat, we will feel fear. But if we see it as an opportunity for growth, we feel empowered. The power to shift our emotional response lies in our perspective. Another essential Stoic technique for mastering emotions is the practice of mindfulness. While mindfulness is often associated with modern psychology, the Stoics were practicing it centuries ago. They believed that by paying close attention to the present moment, we can prevent our emotions from spiraling out of control. When you are mindful, you are fully engaged with the present, rather than being lost in regret about the past or worry about the future. This awareness helps you recognize the early signs of emotional turbulence and respond to them before they escalate. For instance, when you notice tension building up during a stressful situation, practicing mindfulness can help you step out of the automatic emotional reaction. Take a deep breath, focus on the present, and ask yourself, is my reaction serving me? What's within my control here? This pause allows you to shift from an emotional response to a thoughtful one, maintaining clarity even in high-pressure situations. Stoic meditation is another tool for mastering emotions. The Stoics practiced a form of reflection where they would review their day and assess how they responded to various situations. By reflecting on moments when emotions got the best of them, they could learn from their mistakes and improve their emotional responses moving forward. This daily practice of self-examination helps build emotional resilience because it encourages us to reflect on our triggers and identify patterns that lead to emotional outbursts. Over time, this awareness helps us to better manage our emotional state. One of the most difficult emotions to master is anger. The Stoics believed that anger is a destructive force, not only for the person experiencing it, but for everyone around them. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively on anger, describing it as a temporary madness that can destroy relationships, careers, and even lives. He argued that anger rarely serves a useful purpose and that it often leads to regret. The Stoic approach to anger is not to suppress it, but to understand its root cause and address it with reason. Often, anger arises when we feel that something unjust has happened or when things don't go according to our expectations. But the Stoics remind us that we cannot control the actions of others or the outcomes of situations. We can only control how we respond. When you feel anger rising, instead of reacting impulsively, the Stoics encourage you to pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? Will my anger improve the situation? This moment of reflection helps to diffuse the intensity of the emotion and allows you to approach the situation with a calm and rational mind. By mastering anger, you not only prevent unnecessary conflict, but also preserve your peace of mind. Fear is another emotion that often holds us back. The Stoics believed that most fear stems from uncertainty and the desire to control things that are out of our hands. They taught that by focusing on what is within our control, we can reduce fear's grip on us. Fear often paralyzes us, preventing us from taking action or making decisions. But the Stoics remind us that the future is uncertain for everyone, and the best way to deal with fear is to live in the present moment, focusing on what we can do right now. When faced with fear, the Stoics recommend breaking down the source of your fear into manageable parts. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is this fear based on a real threat, or is it a product of my imagination? By dissecting your fear, you often find that it's less overwhelming than it initially seemed. The Stoics believed that most fears are exaggerated by the mind, and by confronting them logically, we can diminish their power over us. Stoicism also teaches us to cultivate gratitude as a way to counter negative emotions. When we focus on what we lack or on the things that aren't going well, we often spiral into feelings of frustration, disappointment, or envy. But by practicing gratitude, we shift our attention to what we have, and this change in perspective can transform our emotional state. Marcus Aurelius encouraged practicing gratitude daily, reminding himself to be thankful for even the smallest things in life. Gratitude grounds us in the present and helps us to appreciate the positive aspects of our lives, which can calm negative emotions. The Stoics also understood that part of mastering emotions is accepting that some things are beyond our control. Much of our emotional turmoil comes from resisting this reality. We get upset when people don't behave the way we want, when situations don't go as planned, or when life throws unexpected challenges our way. But the Stoics teach us that fighting against the uncontrollable is a waste of energy. Instead, they encourage us to accept what we cannot change with equanimity. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means acknowledging the reality of a situation and focusing on how we can best respond. Acceptance is a powerful tool for mastering emotions because it helps us to let go of the things that are causing us distress but are outside of our control. When we accept what is, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional suffering and can focus on what we can influence. Through Stoic philosophy, we learn that mastering emotions isn't about suppressing or ignoring them, but about understanding and managing them. It's about creating space between the emotion and the action, giving ourselves the time and clarity to respond in a way that aligns with our values and goals. This mastery leads to a deeper sense of inner peace, because we are no longer constantly reacting to external events or being pulled in different directions by our emotions. In mastering emotions, the Stoics believed that we become less vulnerable to the ups and downs of life. When you're no longer swayed by every emotional wave, you can maintain a sense of balance and purpose, no matter what is happening around you. This emotional resilience allows you to stay focused on your goals, even in the face of adversity, and to live a life guided by reason and virtue, rather than by impulsive reactions. In today's fast-paced, often chaotic world, the ability to remain calm and maintain clarity under pressure is a superpower. Stoicism offers us timeless techniques for developing this inner strength, helping us to master our emotions, navigate life's challenges with grace, and remain centered in the midst of turmoil. When we learn to master our emotions, we unlock the ability to face anything life throws at us with calmness, clarity, and unwavering focus. Through this emotional mastery, we gain the freedom to live with purpose, wisdom, and inner peace. As we master our emotions and cultivate calmness under pressure, there's another critical element that ties everything together: living with purpose. Imagine a life where every action you take feels meaningful, where each day brings you closer to a clear and compelling vision of who you want to be. What if instead of feeling adrift, you had a deep sense of direction that guided you through life's chaos? This is the power of living with purpose, and it's a core principle in Stoic philosophy. Purpose is not just about setting goals. It's about understanding why you pursue them and aligning your entire life with that deeper intention. Stoicism teaches that purpose is the foundation of a fulfilling life. Without a sense of purpose, we drift aimlessly, chasing temporary pleasures or reacting to whatever life throws at us. But when we are clear about our purpose, everything we do becomes infused with meaning. Every action, every decision is guided by that central goal, and this gives us a powerful sense of direction and fulfillment. The Stoics believed that living with purpose allows us to rise above the distractions and challenges of everyday life, giving us the clarity to focus on what truly matters. Purpose is more than just a specific career or personal ambition. It's about aligning your life with values that matter to you. The Stoics emphasized the importance of virtues, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, as guiding principles that shape how we live and make decisions. These virtues are the compass that helps us define our purpose. When you live according to your values, your actions naturally reflect your purpose, and you begin to find deeper satisfaction in both the pursuit of your goals and the journey itself. Think of purpose as the North Star in your life. It doesn't change based on external circumstances. It remains constant even when you face setbacks or uncertainty. This sense of stability is what gives Stoic philosophy its strength. The Stoics knew that life is unpredictable, full of things beyond our control, but they also knew that having a clear purpose helps us navigate through the unpredictability with confidence. When you live with purpose, you are less likely to be swayed by temporary emotions, external pressures, or fleeting desires. Instead, you stay focused on what truly matters, regardless of the obstacles in your way. You wake up every day with a crystal clear understanding of your purpose, knowing exactly why you do what you do, and feeling driven by that clarity. Whether you're facing a challenging workday, a difficult personal situation, or even just the monotony of daily routines, purpose provides the motivation to keep going. It's the deeper why that drives you when the surface level what feels tedious or overwhelming. The Stoics believed that when we are connected to our purpose, we become more resilient, more focused, and more at peace with ourselves, because we know that everything we do is part of a larger, meaningful plan. Purpose also brings clarity to decision-making. In life, we are constantly faced with choices, both big and small. Without a clear sense of purpose, these decisions can feel overwhelming or arbitrary. But when you know your purpose, decisions become easier because you have a guiding principle to follow. You can quickly assess whether a choice aligns with your values and long-term goals, or whether it is merely a distraction. This clarity allows you to avoid unnecessary stress and helps you stay on course, even when the path is challenging. The Stoics were also clear that purpose is not something that magically appears. It is something we must actively cultivate and pursue. They believed that purpose is found through reflection and action. It requires us to look inward, examine our values, and define what truly matters to us. But it also requires us to act, to take steps, however small, toward the life we want to live. Purpose is not static. It evolves as we grow, learn, and experience new things. This is why the Stoics encouraged constant self-examination, a practice of regularly checking in with yourself to ensure you're living in alignment with your purpose. One of the most powerful tools for living with purpose is the Stoic practice of memento mori, or remembering that we will die. This may sound morbid, but for the Stoics, it was a reminder to live fully and intentionally. When you realize that your time is limited, it becomes clear that you cannot afford to waste it on trivial pursuits or meaningless distractions. Purpose becomes urgent. You become more focused on using your time wisely, dedicating yourself to things that truly matter and letting go of what doesn't serve your higher goals. Purpose also helps you manage setbacks and failures. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, but when you are rooted in purpose, these challenges don't derail you. Instead, they become part of the process. The Stoics believed that obstacles are not barriers to your purpose, but opportunities to strengthen your commitment to it. When you face failure, it's easy to feel discouraged or question your path. But if your purpose is clear, you can see these setbacks as temporary detours, not dead ends. You remain resilient because you know that your purpose is bigger than any individual obstacle. Another key aspect of Stoic purpose is the idea of contributing to something greater than yourself. The Stoics believed that living with purpose is not just about personal fulfillment, It's also about making a positive impact on the world around you. They taught that we are all part of a larger community and that living with purpose means acting in ways that benefit others as well as ourselves. This sense of interconnectedness gives our actions even more meaning. When your purpose is aligned with the greater good, you feel a deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment, knowing that your efforts are contributing to something larger than your individual life. Purpose also gives you the strength to stay disciplined in the pursuit of your goals. As we discussed earlier, self-discipline is essential for achieving anything worthwhile. But discipline without purpose can feel hollow. It's purpose that gives discipline its meaning. When you know why you are making sacrifices, why you are pushing through discomfort, or why you are staying committed even when it's hard, it becomes easier to stay on course. Purpose provides the motivation behind the discipline, giving you the energy to keep going when the journey gets tough. At the same time, the Stoics were clear that purpose is not about perfection. Living with purpose doesn't mean that you will never make mistakes or face moments of doubt. In fact, the Stoics understood that life is full of imperfections and uncertainties, but purpose allows you to move through those moments with grace. When you are connected to your purpose, you are more forgiving of yourself when things don't go as planned. You understand that the path to fulfilling your purpose is not a straight line, but a winding road filled with ups and downs. This perspective helps you to stay grounded and focused, even when life feels chaotic. Purpose also fosters a sense of peace. Many of us spend our lives searching for meaning, chasing after things that we believe will make us happy, whether it's success, wealth, or external validation. But the Stoics taught that true happiness comes from living in alignment with your purpose, not from external achievements. When you are clear about your purpose, you stop looking for fulfillment outside of yourself and begin to find it within. This inner peace allows you to enjoy life more fully because you are no longer caught up in the endless pursuit of things that don't truly matter. Living with purpose also helps you prioritize your time and energy. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get caught up in things that don't serve your long-term goals. But when you are clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to say no to things that are not aligned with it. You become more selective about where you invest your time and energy, ensuring that you are dedicating yourself to the things that truly matter. This focus allows you to be more productive, more effective, and ultimately more fulfilled. The Stoics also believed that living with purpose requires courage. It's not always easy to pursue your goals, especially when they challenge the status quo or push you outside of your comfort zone. But the Stoics taught that courage is a necessary virtue for living a purposeful life. It takes courage to stay true to your values, to make difficult decisions, and to keep going in the face of adversity. But this courage is fueled by purpose. When you know that what you are doing matters, it becomes easier to find the strength to take bold action, even when it's difficult. Finally, purpose brings a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond temporary achievements. Many of us have experienced the fleeting satisfaction of reaching a goal, only to feel empty once the excitement wears off. But living with purpose provides a deeper, more lasting sense of fulfillment, because it's not tied to a single achievement or external validation. It's about living in alignment with your values, contributing to something greater than yourself, and constantly growing toward your potential. This type of fulfillment doesn't fade, it only deepens with time. Living with purpose, according to the Stoics, is the key to a meaningful and fulfilling life. It provides clarity, motivation, and resilience, helping you to stay focused on what truly matters, even when the path is difficult. Purpose is not something you find, it's something you create through reflection, action, and a commitment to living in alignment with your values. When you live with purpose, every day becomes an opportunity to grow, contribute, and move closer to the life you want to live. And in that pursuit, you find not only success, but true happiness and fulfillment. As you begin to live with purpose, the next powerful Stoic lesson emerges: detaching from outcomes. Picture this. Despite all your hard work, dedication, and discipline, things don't go as planned. Perhaps the project you poured your heart into doesn't succeed, or a personal goal remains elusive. In moments like these, it's easy to feel frustrated or defeated. But what if you could find peace and fulfillment, regardless of the results? What if you could focus entirely on your effort and let go of your attachment to the outcome? This is a key Stoic practice that shifts the way we approach life, giving us the freedom to act without being weighed down by fear or disappointment. The Stoics believed that focusing on effort rather than outcomes is not only liberating, but also essential for inner peace. Life is full of uncertainties, and many factors are beyond our control. While we can control our actions and the energy we put into something, the final result often depends on variables outside of our influence. By attaching ourselves too tightly to outcomes, we create unnecessary stress and set ourselves up for disappointment. But when we focus on what we can control, our effort, our mindset, and our commitment, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of results. You pour your heart and soul into working tirelessly toward a goal, only to see circumstances beyond your control shift the outcome, leaving you grappling with the unfairness of it all. Perhaps a business deal falls through, or a relationship doesn't work out the way you hoped. It's easy in these moments to feel as though you've failed, but Stoicism teaches that true success lies in the effort, not the result. If you've given your best, if you've approached the situation with integrity, focus, and dedication, you've already succeeded. The outcome becomes secondary, something to observe, but not to define your worth or your effort. This philosophy doesn't mean we shouldn't set goals or aim for excellence. The Stoics believed in pursuing meaningful objectives with full commitment, but they also understood that clinging to specific outcomes only causes unnecessary suffering. The world is unpredictable, and no matter how well you plan or how hard you work, there will always be factors beyond your control. By detaching from the need for things to go a certain way, you remain flexible and open to whatever happens, knowing that your effort is what truly counts. Consider a farmer who works tirelessly to plant and nurture crops. He tends to the soil, waters the plants, and does everything within his power to ensure a good harvest. But once the seeds are in the ground, he can't control the weather, pests, or other forces of nature. Despite his best efforts, the harvest may not turn out as expected. A Stoic would remind the farmer that his true success lies in his dedication and effort, not the yield. He has done everything within his control, and that is enough. This same principle applies to every area of life. Whether you're working toward a professional goal, a personal project, or even trying to improve a relationship, the Stoics encourage you to focus on your effort and detach from the outcome. When you let go of the need for a specific result, you reduce the anxiety and pressure that often accompany goal setting. You become more present in the process, more engaged in the work itself, and less concerned with how things will ultimately turn out. By focusing on effort, you also free yourself from the fear of failure. One of the biggest obstacles to taking action is the fear that things won't work out the way we want. This fear can be paralyzing, causing us to hesitate, procrastinate, or give up before we even begin. But when you detach from the outcome, failure no longer has the same power over you. If you're focused on doing your best and learning from the experience, even a so-called failure becomes a valuable part of your growth. The fear dissolves, replaced by a sense of freedom and curiosity. Think about the times you've avoided pursuing a goal because you were afraid it wouldn't work out. Maybe you wanted to start a new project, switch careers, or take a leap in your personal life, but the fear of failure held you back. Stoicism teaches that by focusing on effort instead of the result, you remove that barrier. When you see the value in the process itself, you become more willing to take risks, to try new things, and to embrace challenges. Even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for, the experience itself becomes rewarding. This practice of focusing on effort also helps cultivate patience. In a world that often prioritizes instant results, it's easy to become impatient when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. We set goals, and when the results aren't immediate, we start to doubt ourselves or lose motivation. But the Stoics remind us that meaningful progress takes time and that the journey itself is where growth happens. When you detach from the need for quick outcomes, you allow yourself to be fully present in the process, appreciating the small steps and the lessons learned along the way. You're training for a marathon with months ahead before the final race. It's all too easy to become obsessed with the thought of crossing the finish line, feeling the weight of anticipation and pressure building as each day passes. But if your focus is solely on that final moment, you miss out on the daily victories, the improvement in your stamina, the sense of accomplishment after a tough training session, the mental resilience you build along the way. By focusing on effort, you come to appreciate each run, each challenge, as part of the process. The finish line is simply the result of the work you've put in, but the true reward is the growth you've experienced throughout the journey. Detaching from outcomes also brings greater clarity to your decisions. When we're overly attached to a specific result, we can become blinded by our expectations. We may try to force things to go a certain way, even when the circumstances don't support it. This rigid mindset can lead to frustration and poor decision-making. But when you're focused on effort, you remain flexible and open to changing course if necessary. You can adapt to new information, make adjustments, and take setbacks in stride without feeling like you've failed. This openness allows you to stay aligned with your values and purpose, even when things don't go as planned. Stoic detachment from outcomes is also a powerful tool for maintaining emotional balance. When we tie our happiness or sense of self-worth to specific results, we set ourselves up for emotional highs and lows based on external factors. If things go well, we feel elated. If they don't, we feel crushed. This emotional roller coaster can be exhausting and ultimately unsatisfying. But when you focus on effort and detach from results, your emotional state becomes more stable. You find contentment in knowing that you've done your best, regardless of the outcome. This leads to a deeper sense of peace and resilience. Think about the pressure that comes from trying to meet expectations, whether they're your own or someone else's. The need to achieve a certain result can create anxiety, tension, and stress. But when you shift your focus to effort, that pressure lifts. You're no longer striving for perfection or approval from others. You're simply giving your best, day by day. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also allows you to enjoy the process more. You become less concerned with how things will turn out and more engaged in the present moment. Detaching from outcomes also fosters a sense of humility. When we achieve success, it's easy to attribute it solely to our efforts and take full credit for the result. But the Stoics remind us that success is often the result of many factors, some of which are beyond our control. By focusing on effort, we acknowledge that while we play a significant role in our achievements, we are also influenced by external circumstances. This perspective keeps us grounded, reminding us that while we should take pride in our work, we should not let our egos become inflated by the outcome. This practice also helps you maintain a sense of gratitude. When you're no longer fixated on achieving a specific outcome, you start to appreciate the process itself. You become more grateful for the opportunity to learn, grow, and challenge yourself. Even when things don't go as planned, you can find value in the experience. This shift in mindset transforms disappointment into appreciation and allows you to see every situation as a chance to develop new skills, gain insights, and build resilience. The Stoics also understood that detaching from outcomes leads to greater freedom. When we're constantly chasing results, we become prisoners of our expectations. We're always looking ahead, waiting for that next achievement to bring us happiness or fulfillment. But by focusing on effort, we break free from that cycle. We find fulfillment in the present moment, in the work we're doing right now. This sense of freedom allows us to approach life with more joy and curiosity, rather than being driven by a constant need for validation or success. Detaching from outcomes doesn't mean we shouldn't celebrate success or feel disappointed by setbacks. It means that we don't let those results define us. Whether we succeed or fail, we understand that the real value lies in the effort we put forth. Success becomes a byproduct of our hard work, but it's not the only measure of our worth. Similarly, failure becomes a temporary setback, not a reflection of our ability or potential. This mindset gives us the strength to keep going, even when things don't go as planned, because we know that our efforts matter more than the final outcome. Ultimately, the Stoic practice of focusing on effort, not results, allows us to live more fully and authentically. It frees us from the pressure to constantly achieve, from the fear of failure, and from the need for external validation. It reminds us that our true power lies in our actions, in the energy and dedication we bring to each moment. By detaching from outcomes, we discover that success is not about reaching a specific destination, but about how we navigate the journey. In this way, every effort becomes meaningful, and every step forward is a victory in itself. As you learn to detach from outcomes and focus on effort, a new layer of Stoic wisdom emerges, the power of living ethically. Imagine a life where your every decision is aligned with your core values, where success is not just measured by achievements, but by how you achieve them. What if the key to lasting success wasn't just about hard work or talent, but about living a life grounded in virtue, integrity, and ethics? The Stoics believed that true success is built on a foundation of virtue, and that by living ethically, we create not only external achievements, but a deep, enduring sense of fulfillment. This is the kind of success that lasts, one that goes beyond wealth or fame, and is rooted in character. Stoicism teaches that virtue is the highest good, and it is through the practice of virtue that we achieve true success. While modern society often emphasizes external achievements, such as career milestones, financial gain, or social recognition, the Stoics saw these as secondary to the development of one's character. For them, success wasn't just about what you accomplish, but about who you become in the process. When you live ethically, you not only achieve your goals with integrity, but also build a reputation of trustworthiness and respect, both of which support long-term success. Living ethically means aligning your actions with your values, even when it's difficult or when no one is watching. It's about doing the right thing, not because you expect a reward or recognition, but because it is the right thing to do. This sense of moral responsibility is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that by practicing the four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we create a life that is both successful and meaningful. These virtues guide our decisions, helping us navigate the complexities of life with integrity and purpose. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, is not just intellectual knowledge, but the ability to discern what is truly important. It's about making decisions that align with your long-term goals and values rather than being swayed by short-term desires or emotions. Wisdom helps you see beyond the surface of a situation and consider the broader impact of your actions. When you practice wisdom, you are better equipped to make choices that support your success over the long term, rather than pursuing fleeting gains that may compromise your integrity. Courage is another essential Stoic virtue, and it plays a crucial role in living ethically. It takes courage to stand up for what you believe in, especially when it goes against popular opinion or challenges the status quo. It takes courage to remain true to your values when faced with temptation or pressure to compromise. The Stoics believed that true courage is not about physical bravery, but about moral strength, the ability to act in accordance with your principles, even in the face of adversity. When you live with courage, you build resilience and earn the respect of others, both of which are key to long-term success. Justice, in Stoic philosophy, refers to treating others with fairness and respect. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity of every person and acting in ways that contribute to the common good. The Stoics believed that we are all part of a larger community and that true success cannot come at the expense of others. By living justly, we build strong relationships, foster trust, and create an environment where everyone can thrive. Justice is not just about following the rules, it's about actively contributing to the well-being of those around you. This sense of ethical responsibility strengthens your reputation and ensures that your success is built on a foundation of integrity. Temperance, or self-control, is the virtue that helps us manage our desires and impulses. It's about finding balance and moderation in all aspects of life. The Stoics understood that unchecked desires, whether for power, wealth, or pleasure, can lead us off course and undermine our success. Temperance allows us to stay focused on what truly matters and avoid being distracted by superficial or fleeting temptations. When you practice temperance, you cultivate discipline and clarity, both of which are essential for achieving long-term success. This ability to remain balanced and grounded in the face of external pressures helps you maintain a steady course toward your goals. Living ethically is not always the easiest path, but it is the one that leads to lasting fulfillment. The Stoics recognized that doing the right thing often requires sacrifice, patience, and perseverance. There will be times when it feels easier to take shortcuts or to compromise your values for immediate gain. But the Stoics believed that true success is only possible when it is achieved with integrity. When you live ethically, you create a solid foundation for long-term success, one that is built on trust, respect, and personal responsibility. Consider the long-term benefits of living ethically in business. A person who consistently acts with honesty and integrity builds a reputation that attracts opportunities. People want to work with and for someone they trust, someone who demonstrates fairness, transparency, and a commitment to doing the right thing. While others may achieve quick success through deceit or manipulation, those successes are often short-lived, collapsing under the weight of dishonesty. In contrast, a reputation built on ethical behavior leads to lasting relationships, ongoing success, and a legacy of respect. The Stoics also understood that living ethically requires self-awareness and constant self-reflection. It's not enough to simply know what is right. We must continually examine our actions and motives to ensure that we are living in alignment with our values. This practice of self-examination is central to Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously kept a journal in which he reflected on his actions and thoughts, always striving to improve himself and stay true to his principles. This habit of daily reflection helps us stay accountable to ourselves and keeps us on the path of virtue. In the fast-paced world we live in today, it's easy to lose sight of ethics in the pursuit of success. We're often told that the ends justify the means, that winning at any cost is acceptable as long as the goal is achieved. But the Stoics remind us that how we achieve success is just as important as the success itself. When you compromise your values for short-term gains, you may achieve success in the moment, but over time, this approach erodes trust, damages relationships, and undermines your sense of self-worth. In contrast, when you stay true to your ethical principles, you create a legacy of integrity that supports long-term success. Living ethically also brings a deep sense of inner peace. When you know that your actions are aligned with your values, you can move through life with confidence and clarity. You are no longer burdened by the guilt or anxiety that comes from compromising your principles. Instead, you feel a sense of pride and fulfillment in knowing that you are living a life of integrity. This inner peace is one of the greatest rewards of living ethically, and it supports both personal and professional success by allowing you to remain focused, calm, and centered, even in challenging situations. The Stoics believed that living ethically is not only beneficial for the individual, but also for society as a whole. When we act with integrity, we contribute to the greater good, creating a ripple effect that benefits everyone around us. A person who lives ethically sets an example for others, inspiring them to do the same. This collective commitment to virtue strengthens communities, fosters collaboration, and creates an environment where true, sustainable success can flourish. By living ethically, we not only support our own long-term success, but also contribute to the success and well-being of others. At the heart of Stoic ethics is the understanding that we are all interconnected. The Stoics believed that our actions affect not only ourselves, but also the people around us and the larger community. When we live ethically, we recognize this interconnectedness and act in ways that benefit both ourselves and others. This sense of responsibility to the greater good is what makes Stoic ethics so powerful. It encourages us to think beyond our own immediate desires and to consider the impact of our actions on the world around us. This broader perspective not only supports long-term success, but also creates a life of meaning and purpose. Stoicism also teaches that living ethically requires resilience. There will be times when it feels easier to take the path of least resistance, to compromise your values for the sake of convenience or personal gain. But the Stoics believed that true strength lies in staying committed to your principles, even when it's difficult. This resilience builds character and earns the respect of others. Over time, living ethically becomes a habit, something that feels natural and rewarding rather than a burden. The more you practice virtue, the more you strengthen your ability to stay true to your values, no matter the circumstances. In moments of temptation or challenge, the Stoics encourage us to return to our core values and remember what truly matters. When faced with a difficult decision, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Am I acting in a way that reflects the person I want to be? By staying connected to your ethical principles, you build a sense of integrity that supports both personal fulfillment and professional success. You become someone others can rely on, someone who makes decisions based on what is right, not just what is easy or expedient. In conclusion, living ethically according to Stoic principles is not just a pathway to success, it's a pathway to a life of meaning, integrity, and fulfillment. The Stoics remind us that true success is not measured by wealth, power, or external achievements, but by the quality of our character and the impact we have on others. By practicing the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we create a foundation for long-term success that is built on trust, respect, and personal responsibility. When we live ethically, we not only achieve our goals with integrity, but also contribute to the greater good, creating a legacy of lasting success and fulfillment. As we come to the end of these powerful lessons, it's clear that Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a blueprint for achieving anything you want in life. From the power of focus to building resilience, from embracing discomfort to living with unwavering purpose, Stoicism gives you the tools to navigate life's challenges with clarity, strength, and integrity. By mastering your emotions, detaching from outcomes, and living ethically, you align yourself with long-term success that goes beyond external achievements. Each step along this journey helps you not just achieve your goals, but become the person capable of achieving even more than you thought possible. Now, it's your turn. Which of these lessons resonated the most with you? How do you plan to apply Stoicism to achieve your own goals? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear about your journey. And if you found these lessons valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's so much more to explore, and by subscribing, you'll be the first to know when new content is ready to guide you on the path to living your best, most purposeful life.